Mtazamaji wa Sajuki Online TV, hapa ni Madinatul Bahri. Kuna mkutano ambao unaenda kuwakutanisha East Africa kujadili kuhusiana na biashara za nafaka. Hii ni kwenda kuipeleka Zanzibar kuwa kitovu cha biashara hizi za nafaka. Ni mengi utaenda kuyasikia katika mkutano huu kwa siku ya leo. Nikusihi tu uwe nasi mwanzo hadi mwisho. Mimi Sabra Salum Haris, nyuma ya kamera Musdalfat Ahmed.
Mweli, Acting Permanent Secretary, Acting Principal Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, Irrigation, Natural Resources and Livestock of Zanzibar, Dr. Mohamed Dhamir Kombo, East African Grain Council Chairperson, Board of Directors, Mr. Michael Kitirizo, Executive Director of International Grain Council, Mr. Arnold Petit, representative of the leadership of the African Continental Free Trade Areas, COMESA Secretariat, East Africa Secretariat, ECOWAS Directorate of Agriculture, Trademark Africa, AGRA, representative from national government from African Union member states, Director General GAFTA, Ms. Jane Chisholm-Count, OBE, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all.
Good morning.
I wish to first thank the Almighty God for blessing us with good health, which has enabled us to be here today. I take this opportunity to also welcome you all to this 11th African Grain Trade Summit here on the beautiful island of Zanzibar. On behalf of the government and the people of Zanzibar, I extend warmest greetings as we gather under this theme, Resilient Grain Markets Unlocking Africa's Food Security Potential. The theme is very important as it will force us to look at challenges which affect grain trade in the whole value chain, from farming, storage, processing, transporting, trading to the final consumer. This theme resonates deeply with us. In Zanzibar, our domestic consumption of grain, cereals, pulses, and oilseed exceed local production, compelling us to rely heavily on imports. Over 80% of the food consumed in Zanzibar is imported, sourced from Indonesia, India, Brazil, Turkey, Pakistan, and Vietnam. However, this import dependency is not merely a challenge. It is an opportunity. It is an opportunity to invest in local productivity, modernize post-harvest handling, strengthen value chains, and scale trade-driven solutions. By addressing these gaps, Zanzibar can reduce dependency on import while building a more resilient agriculture sector that benefits farmers, traders, and consumers alike. Ladies and gentlemen, over the past 5 years, Tanzania mainland has significantly progressed in crop production, particularly in cereals. Cultivated land now exceeds 17 million hectares, with maize and rice showing the greatest gains. Maize output rose from 5.6 million tons in 2019-2020 to a record of 10.7 million tons in 2024-2025, while rice increased from 2.9 million tons to 3.8 million tons over the same period. Total cereal production reached 13.9 million tons in 2024, about 22% higher than the year before. This achievement reflects improved rainfall, better seeds and fertilizer use, and supportive policies. However, challenges remain, including limited irrigation, only 4.6% of farmland, and also low access to credit. Ladies and gentlemen, in ensuring sustainable production, storage, and trade of grains, the United Republic of Tanzania established the National Food Reserve Agency. The primary responsibility of the agency is to purchase, store, and distribute relief food in areas experiencing food shortages and among victims of national disasters. The agency carries out its responsibility across the entire country through 8 strategically established zones based on regions with high grains production, like Makambako, Songea, Sumbawanga, and Songwe. Also moderate production in Dodoma and Arusha, and low production like in Kipawa and Shinyanga. The establishment of these zones has enabled the agency to serve all regions of the mainland Tanzania with 34 warehouses that have a total storage capacity of 340,000 tons. Ladies and gentlemen, according to the annual Agriculture Sample Survey of 2022-2023, Zanzibar total agriculture output stood at about 383 tons. Out of that, the main grain production, which is rice, contributed to only 41.4 thousand tons. In Zanzibar, the government, led by His Excellency Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, has made significant efforts to ensure that Zanzibar has sufficient food. Among these efforts, the government has constructed irrigation infrastructure covering approximately 2,300 hectares to increase rice production and ensure food security. Additionally, the government has so far built new warehouses and renovated old ones with a storage capacity of 10,000 tons of grains. The goal is to have food storage warehouses with a total capacity of 60,000 tons of grains. This is to ensure that Zanzibar has enough food for current and future consumption, as well as for trade purposes to improve the well-being of its people. Ladies and gentlemen, Zanzibar is uniquely positioned to be a gateway for regional and international trade. With the Fumba port operations, we anticipate a new chapter in agribusiness food trade. This modern facility will strengthen our capacity to move grains and agricultural products efficiently, while positioning Zanzibar as a strategic hub connecting Eastern Africa to the Middle East, Asia, and beyond. Our government is committed to creating an enabling environment for growth. We are investing in infrastructure, promoting standards that meet international market requirements, and working to empower youth and women to take leadership roles in agribusiness. These steps will enhance productivity, support innovations, and ensure that the benefits of trade and agriculture development are widely shared. Ladies and gentlemen, importantly, Zanzibar does not walk this path alone. We work closely with the government of the United Republic of Tanzania to advance shared objectives of food security, trade competitiveness, and economic transformation. Together, we are aligning our strategies to fully embrace the African Continental Free Trade Area, which provide an unprecedented opportunity to unlock new markets, reduce barriers, and strengthen Africa's collective voice in global trade. Collaborations, policy harmonizations, and regional integration will be critical to our success. The lessons of recent global shocks, climate change, pandemics, and disruptions in global supply chains remind us that Africa must rely on its own resilience. We must invest in climate-smart agriculture, strengthen storage and processing facilities, scale digital solutions to connect farmers to markets, and empower women and youth who are at the heart of our agricultural systems. Ladies and gentlemen, As we deliberate during this summit, I call upon governments, investors, innovators, and development partners to view Zanzibar as not only a producer and consumer of grains, but also as a strategic hub for regional grain trade and a reliable partner in Africa's food security journey. Let us leave this summit committed to action, to invest in strategic value chains, embrace innovations, harmonize policies, integrate markets, and ensure that the grain sector become a driver of prosperity, stability, and competitiveness for our people, our region, and our continent.
Policymakers, private sector leaders, researchers, traders, and development actors, all united by a common goal to strengthen Africa's grain sector through trade, innovation, and partnership. This summit comes at a time when the African continent is taking bold steps to transform its agriculture and trade systems in the face of climate change, population growth, and economic challenges. Grain trade remains a cornerstone of food security, livelihoods, and economic growth, and our discussions here today are crucial in shaping a more resilient, inclusive, and sustainable future for Africa. As Zanzibar, we are proud to be part of this journey, guided by the leadership of His Excellency Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, the President of Zanzibar and Chairman of the Revolutionary Council. Our government has placed food security and agricultural transformation at the heart of our development agenda, including the Zanzibar Development Vision 2050 and the Zanzibar Development Plan 2021-2026. From investing in irrigation infrastructure to strengthening grain storage and promoting agri-trade, we are committed to ensuring that Zanzibar plays a part in the regional and continental food systems. We believe this summit is not just a meeting, it is a catalyst for a new collaboration and sharing of best practices. We also invite you to take time to experience the whole nation of Zanzibar. We believe that this summit will empower farmers, enhance regional trade, and unlock Africa's vast agricultural potential. As we engage over the next few days, we encourage open dialogue, collaborations, and sharing of best practices. We also invite you to take time to visit historical places, see the experience of Zanzibar, the rich culture, hospitality, and the beauty of Zanzibar. Once again, karibuni sana, and let us work together to build food secure and prosperous Africa through grain trade. Asanteni sana.
Council of Zanzibar, dada yangu Fatma Mabruk Hamis, Principal Secretary, Ministry of Trade and Industrial Development Zanzibar, and allow me now to write on the protocol already established by the former speakers. Good morning, everyone. A warm welcome to Zanzibar and Tanzania. Our Zanzibar is fondly known as a spice island, and we are really pleased to host this as a Tanzania 11th African Great Trade Summit. On behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture in the mainland, I would like to extend our special welcome to all participants, including the esteemed speakers, industry leaders, and other delegates across the globe. This year theme, which is Resilient Grain Markets, Unlocking Africa Food Security Potential, comes at the right time, since it recognizes the strengths we have shown and the path forward that we must take. This conference is not just a meeting. It is a stepping stone toward a world where the grain industry can navigate its challenge and provide greater food security for all. When I was preparing these remarks, I looked at the global data, and I found that the global trade value in 2023 for grains has amounted to 330 billion USD, which its volume has increased to 880 million metric tons, which has traded across the globe. This means everyone in this room, we are not speaking about the food security only, but we are speaking about our economy. We are speaking about our life, and we are speaking about our future. This theme, which has proposed to be discussed in this summit, comes at the right time as our African trade market faces expanding challenges driven by unpredictable and shifting trade policies, fragmented markets, volatile weather, post-harvest losses, low productivity, limited investment, and geopolitical tensions. Tanzania is well positioned with approximately 44 million hectares of arable land, out of which we've only used 10.8 million hectares, equivalent to 24%. And most of the land which we are using for crop production is highly underutilized due to technology. And I like to mention, under the presidency of Samia Suluhu Hassan, we have prioritized food security and investment in agriculture. What we have done in the past 4 years is amazing. We have increased through her presidency, we have increased the budget 4 times, from $100 million annually to $450 million US annually. And 30% of the budget which we have allocated for irrigation, 10% we have allocated for seed multiplication, but also we have prioritized on the digital innovation, policies, extension services, value addition, and markets. With these efforts, results are not only possible, but we have already started to see the improvements. Tanzania, we have witnessed a 35% increase in food crop production, which means in 2021, our total production was 18 million metric tons of food across the country. And up to last year, we have recorded the increase up to 22.8 million metric tons of food production. And this has resulted to 128 food sufficient ratio. Speaking of the food sufficient ratio, we are speaking of the staple foods, which mainly are rice and maize. It is a decade now that our country has registered over 100% food sufficient ratio from 2015 to 2025. And we are proud to both producers and the trade corridors for Eastern and Central Africa, but no country in this world can ensure food security or can provide security in isolation. We have to work together. Grain trade is regional by nature. We must reduce barriers, harmonize standards, modernize borders, and unlock the promise of FTA to ensure smooth, predictable, and competitive grain flows across our continent. Tanzania reaffirms its drive for action to collaborate with governments, private sector, actors, and developing partners to build a resilient grain market that ensure food is available, affordable, and accessible for all Africans. I do encourage you all to engage actively, connect with your peers, and make the most of this conference. This summit is not just about the dialogue, but it's about action, showcasing innovations, forging partnership, and inspiring collective commitment. Let us leave Zanzibar with the concrete commitments to invest, to innovate, and to integrate our grain market so that Africa can secure food today and unlock its vast potential for the generations to come. It is my sincere hope that this forum is a good start and will ease some of the concerns. Asante sana.
to have you, Mr. Gerald Mweli, and now indeed to the host,
who's the Permanent Secretary from the Ministry of Agriculture, URT. Acting Permanent Secretary, Dr. Mohamed Damer, Minister of Agriculture, Irrigation, Natural Resources and Livestock. I would like to also acknowledge the presence of the Chairperson of the EAGC Board of Directors, Mr. Michael Kitulizo, the EAGC Executive Director, Mr. Gerald Macau. I'd also like to acknowledge the presence of Executive Director from the IGC, Mr. Arnold Petit, as well as all the representatives of the leadership of the FCTA, COMESA Secretariat, EAC Secretariat, and ECOWAS Directorate of Agriculture. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of Trademark Africa and AGRA. Thank you so much, Trademark Africa, for your continued support in advancing trade and facilitating the development of trade within Africa. We really appreciate your support. Representatives of national governments from African Union's member states, Director General of GAFTA, Ms. Jane Chisom Count, OBE, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to you all. It is a profound honor to welcome you all to the 11th African Grain Trade Summit here in Zanzibar. On behalf of the Ministry of Trade and Industrial Development, I extend our warmest greetings to each of you who have traveled from across Africa and the world to be part of this important gathering today. I also commend the East African Grain Council and its partners for their leadership in convening us today under the theme of resilient grain markets unlocking Africa's food security potential. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the grain sector is truly the backbone of Africa's food systems. It feeds millions of households, sustains rural economies, but also fuels inter-African trade. Yet we know that the challenges remain significant. Our markets are still fragmented, post-harvest losses are high, and inter-trade continues to be constrained by non-tariff barriers. Here in Zanzibar, we see both the urgency of these challenges and the opportunities for the transformation. Our island is a net importer of basic foodstuffs, relying heavily on rice, wheat, sugar, and cooking oil. Between July 2024 and March 2025, Zanzibar imported 24,746 metric tons of rice and 705 metric tons of wheat flour and over 102,000 metric tons of cooking oil. Overall, in 2024, our imports reached Tanzanian shillings of 1.6 trillion, up nearly by 10% from 2023. These imports are sourced largely from Indonesia, India, Brazil, Turkey, Pakistan, and Vietnam. Please note, I've not mentioned any of the African countries, so we can imagine the potential that exists if we are to start trading amongst ourselves. So this is in fact, over 80% of the foodstuff is what we consume here in Zanzibar is imported. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Zanzibar is ready to play its part, working with colleagues from our regional and international communities and all partners represented here today. And we hope that this summit will be remembered not only for the ideas that we exchanged, but also for the commitments that we made to build a truly food-secure Africa. What we do and how we act will not only contribute to today's needs, but it will also contribute to the needs of the future generations. It is now my singular honor and privilege to invite our chief guest, my boss, Engineer Zena Ahmed Said, who's the Secretary of the Revolutionary Council of Zanzibar, as well as the Chief Secretary, to deliver the keynote address. Karibu sana. Asante. Thank you.
Mtazamaji wa Kilimo TV, imani yetu sisi ni mengi umejifunza, umepata kuona na kusikia kupitia mkutano huu wa 11 ambao umefanyika hapa. Jambo zuri ambalo tumeliona hapa ni Zanzibar kwenda kuwa kitovu cha biashara hii ya nafaka kwa hapa Zanzibar, kama tulivyomsikia Kaimu Katibu Wizara ya Kilimo, vile vile Katibu wa Wizara ya biashara ni jinsi gani Zanzibar inaenda kunufaika kupitia mkutano huu ambao umefanyika hapa Zanzibar. Sisi Kilimo TV kwa siku ya leo hatuna la ziada. Shukrani zangu za dhati kwa mpiga picha Muzdalifat Ahmed. Mimi ni Sabra Salum Haris. Usiache kufuatilia Kilimo TV kwa mengi. Kilimo TV, ukombozi wa mkulima.